17 years old. A car wedged against a rotting farmhouse like a warning. A paycheck on the seat, textbook strewn. Life interrupted mid-sentence. No scream, no struggle, just a cold Vermont night swallowing a girl whole. Brianna Maitland stepped out of a diner in 2004 and into a void no detective, parent, or internet sleuth has ever cracked. Was it a wrong turn, a hidden enemy, or a secret she couldn't outrun? Tonight, we follow the echoes of a case where every clue is a dead end, and the only truth is this: someone knows what happened. A moonless Vermont night in March 2004. Wind slices through skeletal trees as a lone car sits abandoned, its rear bumper wedged into the splintered wood of a decaying farmhouse. The headlights are smashed, glass scattered like ice. Inside, a purse spills open, lip gloss, a crumpled paycheck dated March 19th, high school textbooks. A life paused. But the driver? Gone. No footprints in the mud. No frantic 911 call. Just the hum of silence and a question that has gnawed at New England for 20 years. Where is Brianna Maitland? This isn't a ghost story. This is real. Brianna was 17, old enough to work double shifts at a diner, young enough to doodle song lyrics in her notebook. She left work that night, promised her mom she'd be home, and then vanished into the void. Was it a crash? A predator? Did she run? Or was she taken? 2 decades later, the farmhouse still stands rotting. The case file? Thicker than a dictionary, but every page ends in a dead end. Tonight, we're diving into a mystery where every answer only births more questions. A case where the truth isn't just hidden, it's erased. To understand the mystery, you need to know the girl behind the headlines. Brianna wasn't just a name on a missing poster. She was a kid who blasted Nirvana in her beat-up Honda, who scribbled song lyrics in the margins of her biology notes. A 17-year-old who worked grueling double shifts at the Black Lantern Inn, saving every dollar for her escape from rural Vermont. She loved horses, the kind of love that sticks to your bones, and talked about becoming a veterinarian. But life wasn't a fairy tale. Brianna's world was messy real. She'd recently split from her boyfriend, and rumors swirled about her dipping into a darker crowd. Whispers of late-night parties, shady acquaintances, maybe even drugs. But here's the thing about small towns: gossip sticks like glue, and truth gets blurry. Was she a troublemaker? Or just a girl trying to outrun the ache of growing up too fast? Her friends say she was planning a fresh start. Her mom remembers her laughing over pancakes that final morning. But beneath the surface, there were cracks. Fights with her parents. A text message she never sent. A diary entry that ended mid-thought. Brianna Maitland wasn't a saint. She wasn't a cautionary tale. She was human. And on March 19, 2004, her ordinary, complicated life collided with something, or someone, that erased her from the story. The question isn't just what happened, it's who was she when the lights went out. It was March 19, 2004. A Friday. Brianna had just finished a double shift at the Black Lantern Inn, a cozy restaurant in Montgomery, Vermont. The clock ticked past 11:15 p.m. Outside, winter hadn't fully loosened its grip. Patches of snow clung to the backroads, and the air bit with a damp, icy chill. Exhausted, Brianna climbed into her green 1985 Oldsmobile 88, a hand-me-down car she'd nicknamed the Boat for its boxy, lumbering frame. She called her mother, Kelly, around 11:30 p.m. "I'm gonna head home soon," she said. "Love you." Those would be the last words her family ever heard from her. Brianna's drive home should have taken 15 minutes. She lived just 8 miles away, in the tiny town of Franklin. But instead of turning left onto Route 118, the direct route, her car veered right, down a desolate stretch of Route 109. Why? No one knows. To this day, that wrong turn is the first thread in a knot of contradictions. Around 1 a.m., a farmer driving past the abandoned Dutchburn farmhouse spotted something odd. A car rammed backward into the farmhouse's crumbling wall. The rear bumper was caved in, headlights shattered. The engine was cold. Inside, Brianna's purse sat on the passenger seat, her biology textbook splayed open. A paycheck from the Black Lantern Inn, $140, lay untouched. Her keys? Gone. The driver's seat was reclined all the way back, as if someone had been lying down. Outside, a single white glove rested in the mud. But here's what wasn't there: Brianna. No blood, no broken nails, no signs of a fight, just emptiness. Police arrived by dawn. The scene baffled them. Was this an accident? If Brianna lost control on the icy road, why was her car backed into the farmhouse? And how did she walk away without leaving footprints in the soft, wet ground? Stranger still, why would she abandon her paycheck, her phone, her life in the middle of nowhere? Detectives traced her possible route. A local reported seeing her car parked near the farmhouse around midnight, its headlights off. Another claimed they saw a girl matching Brianna's description at a gas station 20 miles away. But that tip went nowhere. Then a bombshell. A friend came forward, saying Brianna had plans to meet someone that night after work. Who? She wouldn't say. The theories started swirling. Was it a hit and run? Unlikely. The damage to the car didn't match a high-speed crash. Did she have a mental break? Her family insists she was stable, excited about her future. Was she abducted? Possibly. But without evidence, it was just a ghost of an idea. Then the rumors. Locals whispered that the Dutchburn farmhouse wasn't just a ruin. It was a hangout for drug deals, a place where troubled kids gathered. Did Brianna go there to meet someone? Was she lured? Or was the farmhouse merely a red herring, a random stop in a night gone horribly wrong? Forensic teams combed the car. No fingerprints but hers. No foreign DNA. No signs of forced entry. The reclined seat gnawed at investigators. Was she hiding? Sleeping? Or was someone else in that seat, forcing her to drive? And the glove, too clean, too deliberate. Was it a clue, or just something left behind by a passerby? The timeline tightened. Brianna left work at 11:15 p.m. Her car was spotted near the farmhouse by midnight. By 1 a.m., it was abandoned. What happened in those 45 minutes? Did she get lost? Make a detour? Or was she intercepted by someone she knew, or didn't? Her parents clung to hope. Maybe she'd run away. But her savings were still in her bank account. Her favorite necklace, a gift from her father, remained in the car. Her beloved horse, Penny, waited in its stable. Brianna wouldn't leave Penny. Days turned to weeks. Search teams scoured the woods, fields, and rivers. Cadaver dogs hit on nothing. Flyers plastered gas stations and diners. Then a twist. A psychic claimed Brianna was buried in a shallow grave near the farmhouse. Police dug and found nothing. Another tip said she'd been trafficked to New York. Dead end. The case grew colder. The farmhouse decayed. The car, once a clue, became a relic. And Brianna? She became a shadow, a girl frozen in time, haunting the backroads of Vermont. But the questions refused to die. Why did she drive the opposite way from home? Who reclined that seat? Where are the keys? And why, in 20 years, has no trace of her ever surfaced? Not a bone, not a shoe, not a whisper. The night Brianna vanished isn't just a mystery. It's a collision of the ordinary and the unthinkable. A teenage girl, a dark road, a car that became a tomb, and a truth that remains buried, somewhere in the silence of that March night. The moment Brianna's car was found, the tiny town of Montgomery became the center of a storm. Police swarmed the Dutchburn farmhouse, flashlights cutting through the pre-dawn gloom. Search dogs sniffed Brianna's scent from the driver's seat, trailing it down the dirt driveway, across the road, and then nothing. The trail vanished in the middle of Route 109, as if she'd been plucked from the earth. The first 48 hours were chaos. Flyers papered every phone pole. Volunteers combed fields and forests. Dive teams dragged nearby rivers. Helicopters buzzed overhead, their spotlights painting the hills in ghostly white. But Brianna was nowhere. Then the tips started flooding in. A trucker swore he saw her at a gas station in St. Albans, 30 miles away, hair disheveled, buying a soda. Detectives rushed to review security tapes. Nothing. A waitress in Burlington claimed Brianna ate pancakes at her diner, trembling and silent. Another dead end. The most chilling rumor? That Brianna owed money to a drug dealer, a debt that ended in a kidnapping. But police found no evidence she was involved in anything illegal. Just whispers. Always whispers. Then a name surfaced, Maura Murray, another 21-year-old student who'd vanished just weeks earlier, 100 miles east in New Hampshire. Both women, both in rural New England, both cases as cold as the February ground. Reporters spun theories of a serial predator. Investigators compared notes. But the similarities were surface deep. Maura crashed her car on a lonely road. Brianna's was parked. Maura left a packed dorm room. Brianna left a paycheck. The connection? A coincidence, or a distraction. Back at the farmhouse, forensic teams dissected Brianna's car like a crime scene textbook. They lifted fingerprints, all hers. They tested hair, fibers, even the mud on the floor mats. No DNA. No signs of another person. The reclined seat? Maybe she'd adjusted it herself. The missing keys? Possibly lost in the fields. Or taken. The glove? A red herring, lost by some kid exploring the ruins. But here's what kept detectives awake. Why was her car there? The farmhouse wasn't on her route. To reach it, she'd have to drive past her own neighborhood, turn onto a dead-end road, and reverse into a wall. If she was disoriented, why not call for help? Her cell phone was found in the car, fully charged. If she was meeting someone, who? And why leave her entire life behind? Months passed. The case file swelled with theories. A psychic insisted Brianna was buried near a stone wall in the woods. Police spent days digging. They found rusted cans, animal bones, but no Brianna. An anonymous letter arrived, postmarked from New York, claiming she'd been sold into a trafficking ring. Detectives tracked the lead to a hoax. Even the FBI got involved, offering a $20,000 reward. Silence. Then a break, or so it seemed. In 2010, a man serving time for assault told his cellmate he'd partied with a missing girl from Vermont years earlier. He described Brianna in detail. Police raced to interview him. His story crumbled, a lie to shorten his sentence. Another dead end. The years rolled on. Technology advanced. DNA databases grew. Cold case teams re-examined the evidence. In 2019, investigators drained a murky pond near the farmhouse, convinced a body or weapon might surface. They found tires, a shopping cart, rotting logs. No Brianna. But the most haunting twist? The car itself. After the investigation, Brianna's Oldsmobile was hauled to a police impound lot. Her family begged to have it back, a piece of her, a clue they might have missed. But the state kept it as evidence. Years later, the car was auctioned off, lost to time. A relic of the case gone. So where does that leave us? The facts are maddeningly sparse. No body, no crime scene, no confession, just fragments, a car that shouldn't have been there, a paycheck that never made it home, a glove that means everything, or nothing. Theories split into camps. Some believe Brianna was targeted, a local predator who knew her routines. Others think she fled, overwhelmed by small-town life, and met with disaster. Then there's the darkest idea, that someone in her orbit knew what happened. Someone's still out there. But without evidence, it's all noise. Even the farmhouse is gone now, demolished in 2015. The land where Brianna's car once sat is an empty field. The road she vanished from? Still quiet, still dark, still holding its secrets. The hardest truth? Investigations need something. A thread to pull. A crack in the story. But Brianna's case is all smooth walls. Every lead dissolves like sugar in rain. Every clue circles back to the same void. Yet someone knows. A classmate who heard a rumor. A neighbor who saw headlights that night. A friend who's stayed silent for 20 years. Or maybe Brianna herself, lost in a life we can't imagine. The file remains open. Her family still waits. And the rest of us? We're left staring at the same unanswerable question. How does a girl vanish? Into thin air in the age of cell phones and security cameras? How does a case with so much attention have so little to show for it? Brianna Maitland's investigation isn't just a story of dead ends. It's a mirror held up to our faith in justice. A reminder that sometimes the truth doesn't want to be found. And sometimes the only thing colder than a Vermont winter is a case gone silent. When a case goes cold, theories rush in to fill the silence. Brianna Maitland's disappearance isn't just a mystery. It's a breeding ground for nightmares. Over 20 years, detectives, armchair sleuths, and conspiracy theorists have spun countless stories about what happened that night. Some are plausible. Others feel ripped from a horror movie. But in the absence of answers, all of them linger. Let's walk through the shadows. Theory 1, the ambush. The simplest explanation? Someone Brianna knew or trusted lured her to that farmhouse. Maybe an ex-boyfriend, a coworker, a local with a grudge. Her car was found backed into the wall, suggesting she might have been forced off the road or followed. If she recognized the person, she might have let her guard down. No struggle, no scream, just a quiet, terrifying end. But without evidence of a confrontation, this theory floats in the dark. Theory 2, the farmhouse curse. Locals call the Dutch-burned farmhouse bad luck. Decades before Brianna vanished, it was a crumbling hub for squatters, drug deals, and late-night parties. Some believe she went there to meet someone, a dealer, a friend, a stranger, and walked into a trap. Rumors swirled that the property's owner, a reclusive figure, knew more than he admitted. But when police questioned him, he had an alibi. The farmhouse was demolished in 2015, taking its secrets to the grave. Theory 3, the trafficking letter. In 2006, Brianna's family received an anonymous note. Scribbled in block letters, it claimed she'd been kidnapped and sold to a trafficking ring operating out of New York. "She's not dead," it read, "but she's never coming back." Detectives traced the letter to a mailbox in Albany. They interviewed sex workers, pimps, and informants. Nothing. Was it a cruel hoax? Or a shred of truth from someone too scared to come forward? To this day, her father carries a copy in his wallet. Theory 4, the psychic's vision. In 2008, a self-proclaimed psychic contacted police, insisting she'd had a vision. Brianna's body buried near a stone wall in the woods, wrapped in a blue tarp. Search teams spent days digging near the farmhouse. They found scraps of plastic, a rusted shovel, but no tarp. No bones. Still, the psychic's grim image stuck, a ghostly detail that feels too specific to ignore. Unless, of course, it's just another dead end. Theory 5, the copycat connection. Weeks before Brianna vanished, 21-year-old Maura Murray disappeared in New Hampshire after a car crash. Both cases became media obsessions. Conspiracy theorists linked them, suggesting a serial killer stalked New England backroads. But the similarities end there. Maura's case hints at a voluntary disappearance. Brianna's feels abrupt, violent. Investigators found no concrete ties, just the chilling coincidence of 2 girls, 2 cars, 2 voids. Theory 6, the runaway myth. Could Brianna have staged her own disappearance? Some point to her recent breakup and family tensions as motive. But her behavior doesn't fit. She left her paycheck, her phone, her horse. All things a runaway would need. Plus, her bank account never budged. In 2019, a woman in Oregon claimed to be Brianna, but DNA proved it false. If she did run, she's the invisible woman. Theory 7, the accident cover-up. What if Brianna's disappearance started as a tragic accident? Suppose she crashed, panicked, and fled into the woods. Disoriented, she succumbed to the cold. But why no body? Why no footprints? And why would someone, anyone, hide her remains? Unless a passerby found her dead and disposed of the evidence to avoid blame. A hit-and-run driver, maybe. But again, no proof. The 2019 break that broke nothing. In October 2019, investigators got a warrant to drain a weed-choked pond near the farmhouse. Tips had trickled in for years. Look in the water. Backhoes clawed through mud. Divers plunged into the murk. For days, the world watched. They found a knife, a license plate, a pair of jeans, none tied to Brianna. The pond gave up nothing but old trash. Hope once again sank. The wildest theory of all, she's still alive. It's the sliver her family clings to. What if Brianna was kidnapped, brainwashed, or coerced into a new identity? Maybe she's out there, silenced by fear or threats. But in 20 years, not one credible sighting. No social media trails. No birthday card slipped under a door. Just the relentless maybe. So why does this case grip us? Because every theory feels possible, yet none fit. The farmhouse is gone. The car is lost. Witnesses die. Memories fade. And with each passing year, the truth grows blurrier, like a face seen through frosted glass. But here's the twist. The lack of evidence is the evidence. No body suggests someone hid it well. No DNA implies a clean crime. No ransom note points to a motive deeper than money. Brianna's case isn't just a puzzle missing pieces. It's a puzzle where the pieces never existed. Yet people keep searching. Her father, a retired cop, still follows every tip no matter. How faint? Online forums dissect blurry photos and decade-old gossip. Because the alternative, accepting that we might never know, is a void too dark to stare into. In the end, the theories tell us less about Brianna and more about ourselves. Our need to make sense of chaos, our refusal to let a girl become a ghost, and our fear that somewhere out there, the answer is laughing at us just out of reach. Brianna Maitland's disappearance isn't a story with an ending. It's a question mark etched into the Vermont woods, a riddle without a solution, a night that never ended. Time moves on, seasons change, but in Vermont, Brianna Maitland's face still lingers, peeling from faded posters in gas stations, pixelated on true crime forums, etched into the hearts of those who loved her. Her case isn't just unsolved, it's alive, a wound that refuses to scar, a question that refuses to die. Why? Because Brianna's disappearance isn't just about a missing girl. It's about the terrifying truth that in a world where every step is tracked, every face scanned, some people still vanish like smoke. And we're left staring into the dark, wondering how. The father's VOW, Bruce Maitland, is a retired cop. He knows how cases fade, how files gather dust. But when his daughter disappeared, he made a promise. I'll never stop. For 20 years, he's chased shadows. He's stood in downpours, handing out flyers to strangers. He's sat in basements with private investigators, replaying that night like a broken record. He's even confronted tipsters who lied to his face, just for a shred of attention. You don't get closure, he once said. You just learn to breathe around the hole. In 2019, when detectives drained that pond near the farmhouse, Bruce stood there for hours, ankle-deep in mud, staring at the sludge. Maybe today, he thought. But the day ended like all the others, with nothing. Yet he keeps going, because stopping would mean accepting that Brianna is gone. And in that silence, he hears her voice. Dad, keep looking. The internet sluths, Brianna vanished before TikTok, before Instagram, before algorithms fed on mysteries. But online, her case became a cult obsession. Reddit threads dissect blurry gas station footage. YouTube videos zoom in on the farmhouse's broken windows, hunting for faces in the glass. Armchair detectives argue. Was the glove left-handed? Why was the seat reclined? They map routes, decode anonymous tips, and spin theories wilder than a Netflix thriller. Some call it exploitation. Others call it hope. Because while cops hit walls, the internet never sleeps. In 2021, a grainy photo surfaced online. A woman in a Pennsylvania Walmart, her eyes downcast. That's Brianna. The forum screamed. It wasn't. Just another lookalike. Another ghost. But the cycle continues. Because in the digital age, a cold case isn't cold. It's a fire that never stops burning. The shadows in plain sight, Brianna's story forces us to ask. How? How does someone disappear in 2004, surrounded by towns, roads, people? No body. No confession. No trail. It's not just a failure of justice. It's a crack in reality. We tell ourselves monsters hide in alleys, but what if they're our neighbors? Our coworkers? The person who bags our groceries? Her case exposes the lie we all believe. That couldn't happen here. But it did. In a quiet Vermont town where doors stayed unlocked. Where kids rode bikes until dusk. Where everyone knew everyone. Brianna's silence screams a warning. Evil doesn't need darkness to thrive. It walks in daylight. It smiles. It waits. The farmhouse ghost, the Dutchburn farmhouse, is gone now, bulldozed in 2015. Developers built a parking lot over the plot. But visit on a foggy night, locals say, and you'll feel it. The weight, the wrongness. Teenagers dare each other to park there, to whisper Brianna 3 times. They leave flowers, notes, stuffed animals. A shrine to the unknown. The new owners hate it. They post no trespassing signs. But the pilgrims still come. Because the farmhouse wasn't just a building. It's a symbol. A monument to the idea that some places are cursed. That dirt can hold secrets. That walls can whisper. The unsolved equation, Brianna's case, is a math problem with no solution. A equation of time, 20 years. Technology, DNA, facial recognition, satellites. Human error, lost evidence, faded memories. Luck, bad, or the lack of it. Add it all up and you get 0. Less than 0. A negative. A void. But voids haunt us. They make us check our locks twice. They make parents grip their kids' hands tighter. They make us wonder. If Brianna could vanish, so could we. So could anyone. Her legacy isn't just a mystery. It's a mirror. It reflects our fear of the unknown. Our rage at injustice. Our refusal to believe that a 17-year-old girl could be erased without a trace. Because if she can, what does that say about us? About the world we've built? The echoes today, Brianna's friends are in their late 30s. They have careers, kids' lives. But they still dream about her. They still see her in crowded rooms. They still wonder, what if she'd left work 5 minutes earlier? What if she'd taken a different road? Her mother, Kelly, keeps her bedroom frozen in time. The Nirvana posters, the horse figurines, the half-finished homework. I don't want her to be a ghost, she says. But without answers, that's all Brianna becomes, a story, a cautionary tale, a face on a poster, until maybe one day, a deathbed confession, a hiker stumbling on bones, a coded message in a diary, a crack in the universe. But until then, Brianna Maitland remains exactly where she's always been, in the limbo between memory and myth. A girl who stepped into the night and took the truth with her, and a case that won't die because we won't let it. Brianna Maitland would be 37 years old today. Maybe a mother, maybe a veterinarian, maybe still scribbling song lyrics in the margins of her life. But time stopped for her in 2004. frozen in the headlights of a broken-down Oldsmobile, and a question that has never let go. Where is she? Her case remains open, a ghost haunting Vermont's backroads. Every year, her family marks March 19th with candles and silence. Every year, detectives revisit the file, hoping for a crack in the ice. And every year, the world moves on, but Brianna doesn't. She's still 17, still missing, still waiting. If you know something, anything about that night, about the farmhouse, about the face you can't forget, her father still answers his phone. Her mother still checks the mailbox. Because every unsolved mystery is a door left slightly ajar. A chance, however faint, for light to finally break through. So tonight, as you lock your doors and switch off the lights, remember this. Stories like Brianna's aren't just about the past. They're about the shadows we ignore, the gut feelings we dismiss, the truth we're too afraid to speak. Someone knows. Someone always knows. Until then, the wind still howls past the empty field where the farmhouse once stood. The posters still fade in the sun, and the question lingers sharp as shattered glass. Where is Brianna Maitland? If this story stayed with you, help keep Brianna's case alive. Subscribe for more deep dives into unsolved mysteries. Share this video. You never know who might hold a missing piece. And leave a like if you believe answers still matter, even after 20 years. Together, we can turn whispers into voices and silence into truth.